style cornbread today, and if you're anything like me, for Thanksgiving I definitely like the sides way more than I actually prefer the actual turkey, and one of my faves is cornbread. I love it in stuffing, I love it crumbly, and I like having bits of corn in it. So I can't wait to show you guys this recipe, so let's head over to the kitchen and then let's get started.
Okay guys, so I'm going to start off with the buttermilk portion of this recipe first. It's a half a cup of flax milk with about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and you can substitute for another nut milk if you want, and just whisk that around and then push that aside to thicken up. Next, this is going to be your dry mixture. So this is cornmeal. You want a little bit more cornmeal than you want flour, because flour just kind of makes this a little bit softer. So depending on if you like it a little bit more gritty, add a little bit more cornmeal to it. So that was wheat flour. This is a half a teaspoon of salt, and then we're going to go in with a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder and then a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, because we're not going to be using any eggs. So I'm going to try to substitute for that later. So this is the baking soda. So you just want to mix that around, making sure that it's all combined. And then I also put in about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of brown sugar in here. And this is really up to you. If you like your cornbread to be more on the savory side, you can actually just skip the sugar altogether. I'd recommend about a tablespoon though for that little base flavor. So this is what I'm going to substitute for the eggs. I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of applesauce and then mix that with a tablespoon of oil, and that'll keep everything nice and moist. So to this I'm going to add about a cup of corn. This is also an optional step, and the reason I'm adding it to the dry ingredients is so that the flour will coat it so that the corn doesn't all sink to the bottom. Okay, it's like kind of an old trick that you do with like blueberries or like nuts if you want to add it to batter. So now into the dry ingredients go the wet ingredients. So this is going to be the buttermilk, and then I've melted about a 1/4 cup of Earth Balance, and that'll provide a nice kind of buttery flavor. In go my applesauce with a little bit of oil, and then just mix all of that together. So you'll see that with the wheat flour, actually after a couple of minutes the batter will thicken up a lot. So I'm trying to make this southern style, so I found a little I think it's like a 6-inch cast iron skillet, and so it's medium high heat, and I'm just slathering it with probably about a teaspoon of Earth Balance, just to kind of get the a nice crust going, okay, so that everything will be warm when it hits the skillet, and then I will put it in to the oven afterwards. This recipe kind of makes one of that 6-inch skillet and then kind of a really small loaf of cornbread. So you can double the recipe if you want, or not. Anyways, this goes into a 375 degree oven for, I'd say 25 to 30 minutes, but you just want to make sure that everything is cooked and that there is a nice kind of brown color to it. So that's basically all that there is. There's a little bit of cracking, but you can see the corn within it. Let's see, let's grab a slice out of this so that I can show you guys how crumbly it is. I love crumbly cornbread, it is so good. And then you can, again, see the nice little pieces of corn in there. So sometimes I will have a big pat of Earth Balance, or you guys can use butter for that. And then if this is a more savory recipe, like if you didn't put in a lot of sugar, you might want to drizzle it with some sorghum or molasses, which is uber southern, and it's really nice because it just provides a little bit of kind of like richness, and then also a little bit of sweetness as well to more of a savory bread. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Maybe you'll make it for Thanksgiving for your friends and family. As usual, if you guys like recipes like this and want to see more of it, please hit like and subscribe, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye!